All right, guys, get your notepads ready. Today's going to be intense. So, I did go short here this morning, but I got stopped out before the dump, unfortunately. And I'll break that down in a few minutes. But as always, first we got to go into context, right? So, first I want to take you guys to the daily chart, okay? So, if we notice, yesterday's bar closed as an inside bar, which means that it's inside of the previous day's price range. Okay, so for a visual, you can see that this bar was inside this bar's price range. Okay, so what that tells me is I should treat it like a range. Okay, two clues here. Now, I don't know how this day is going to close yet. It can still pull back to this area where the EMA is. But a few days ago, I noted that with this sell off, I'm expecting a pullback or a range. So either or is possible. So with the inside bar, the first thing I wanted to look out for was a breakout fail, right? Because that's what I look for in ranging environments. So that was my first approach, right? And then yesterday, we also talked about relative strength and weakness. Okay. If you didn't watch that video, I highly recommend that you watch that. Now, I said that it's bearish if the strong index holds resistance. Okay, so my first clue on ES here was this breakout, and I wanted to see if it was able to sustain price, even without the supply zone. I'll delete that because it's irrelevant here. We have this key level, right, which is very obvious: support, resistance, and we came back into it. So it almost seems too obvious for a breakout, hold, and continuation, right? So I was looking for the rejection of the previous day's highs, paired with NQ being at resistance. Okay. Now, I said that it's bearish if the stronger index holds resistance. So I put this together so it's an easier visual. The blue represents NQ, the red represents ES. And this is where we opened. As you can see, NQ was the stronger index. Okay. Now, with that being said, I was looking for shorts, right? We had the breakout. Delete this here. Okay, so this is where we opened up. I saw the volume at 932. Pulled back into it. I saw some nice volume up here. Buying couldn't go anywhere. I got short right here. Now, excuse me, when we broke this low of day, I saw massive volume come in here. So right here, I adjusted my stop to break even. Plus, I was ready green like 8 points, 8.5 points. And fortunately, it pulled back and it took me out. And that's when it dumped. And I didn't see any re-entries because it got hard to read after this dump and it pushed back in quite violently. You could see it better on a candlestick chart. It just dumped, and when you reclaim a level like that, that seems bullish. But then at the same time, I didn't want to take that because it seemed too obvious. Plus, NQ was at a big resistance still. Okay, I can show you this resistance. Pretty obvious one, right? All of these lows from this last range came back into that. Now, that was the morning session. All of this that happened in between was very hard to read, so I didn't take any trades here. I only took that one trade this morning on ES where I got stopped out. But now I want to get into this relative strength and weakness a little bit more with you guys. So look over here where we rejected at 11:30. Okay, on NQ at 11:30. See where price is. For better illustration, 11:30 is here, right? NQ is still the stronger index, right? NQ is still the stronger index, which means we're looking for it to hold resistance for it to be bearish, right? So what did NQ reject here? If you watch my other videos on supply and demand, you'll see that we rejected this. It was a 1 hour supply zone. Okay. So if you don't know how I come up with these supply zones, I recommend you watch some of my other videos. Okay. So supply formed, we pull back into supply, whereas ES was rejecting this key level. Okay. So that was, and of course, you get the volume coming in. So that always is a great indication. Now, as for this bounce at the lows, right? For something to be bullish, we want to see the weak index hold support. Okay. Now it definitely helps if both indices are lining up with support, which in this case is very obvious. We're lining up with pre-market lows and this key level here. Okay. So let's look at the key level first on NQ. Pretty obvious on here, right? This is the key level. So we're holding that. Even without looking that far back, you can see that that was a pre-market holding. Okay. Now, so NQ came into there as the stronger index, all right, at that level of the bounce here. NQ is still stronger. See, it's above, and ES was at a 15-minute demand zone. Okay, volume to confirm. Great. Now if we go on the footprint to see how that looks. We had the volume at the lows. Volume kicked in here. Okay. And we pull back into it and clear it. All right. Nice double bottom. So again, if you don't, if you want a more in-depth explanation of this relative weakness and strength, I recommend watching yesterday's video. As always, guys, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And there's a lot of information in this video, so if you have to rewatch it, you know, do that. Watch some of my other videos I explain some supply and demand. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.